Welcome to my tarot card reading for February 2017, Leo, and this is Manu Tarot. Leo, let's start immediately with your reading. We have here Chango, Oshumare, and Karma. And right next to it, we have the Nine of Swords, Venus, Gemini, and the Lovers, Gemini, Mercury, North Node. And notice the emphasis that is given to Gemini. House number 3, communication, written, verbal, that kind of communication we're talking about. Even the media. But is this all about communication or messages? Okay? And notice that we have here Mars also. And then we have Venus, Venus, Venus. So what we have here is trying to let us know, and let you know, my dear Leo, that during this month, be very careful what you say. Okay? Especially if it is under impulsivity, especially if it is under anger, because you will regret it. Like they say, is going to be used against you. Okay? So life is going to hold you accountable, in other words, for whatever you say during this time. And it makes sense because we have the karma here. It's upside down. So this is going to have, you're going to see direct results of whatever you say during this month. Okay? So watch your mouth during this month. Okay? That's the best advice. And we have also Shumare, the divine messenger. Therefore, there is a heavy emphasis on what you say. Also, the promises that you make or made, okay, in the past, not necessarily during this month. It could have been that you made a promise in the past and you haven't paid the promise. You haven't complied with the promise. Okay? So in other words, make sure that you pay that promise. You make it happen. Okay? It's very important during this month to make sure that whatever you promise, you keep up to it. We have Gemini house number 3 that is also related with education. This kind of education is like preschool all the way up to maybe 13 years old. You might expand this to 15, but I will go all the way up to 13 years of age. Therefore, we're talking about diseases, ailments that affect the throat, vocal cords, or any structure in the throat. Okay, that could be adenoids, that could be laryngitis, pharyngitis, that kind of stuff. Anything related with vocal cords and the throat. Maybe esophagus. Okay, pharynx, larynx, adenoids. Okay, all those structures. The thyroid is included there. Thyroids, parathyroids. That's what we're talking about. Any structure of the throat that might affect also the voice. Okay, that's what we have here. And then here, what we have is the Chariot. And this represents the first week of February. And this is related with things getting out of hand. You lose control of a situation. It could be your temper, but you're losing control here. And you feel that you're losing control, and it's manifested during the first week of February. And you're going to feel a little bit overwhelmed. It's going to be taxating for you, especially during this month. You're going to feel very overwhelmed. Overwhelmed, I think, is the word that collects everything. And notice that here we have the Ten of Swords. So you're going to be thinking, analyzing, a lot of introspection, a lot of analysis, a lot of introspection during this month. Okay? But you're going to be thinking about problems. Okay? You're going to be thinking about situations that, in this case, are starting to get out of control. It could be the health, it could be financially speaking, or it could be your relationship that is getting out of control. and it's overwhelming for you. Okay, but the tarot cards here, what they're saying is this is going to get better, but in the meantime what you're going to feel is like the whole world is collapsing before you. That's literally how you're going to see it. And even though the tarot cards are saying that this is going to pass and that after every storm the sun comes out, your focus is not going to be on the sun coming out after the storm. You're going to be concentrated more on the storm than anything else, and that's what the tarot cards are saying. By the second week of February, what you have is the Emperor, and here you're going to be analyzing again. This is all about logistic and also using the logic mind. It's about being logical, reasonable. It's about being assertive during this month. In a positive way, you could be assertive. In a negative way, you might be impulsive and jump into conclusions. You might be a little bit dry in your way of thinking during this month. It might be required from your part to employ and deploy austerity measures during this month. Okay, so that's more or less what you could expect during this second week of February 2017. By the third week of February, we have the Fool. And then the Fool is letting me know that you are going to jump into action. If you thought about it or if you didn't think about it, it's not important. You're just doing it. You don't care. You just jump into action. The problem is that if you did it under impulsivity, remember that this is going to affect you in a way that things might get out of hand, out of control, and might be counterproductive for you. So my best advice is be very, very careful. Think, analyze, study carefully the pros and the cons, so that way you can make a choice. But the way that it sounds like you're going to be very impulsive and you're going to jump into action, and the possibilities that it's not going to work out the way you planned are very high. And they're letting you know, don't make any promise, like I said before. Okay, don't be quick into passing judgment, and don't be quick on making any kind of promises that later on you won't be able to keep. By the end of the month of February, we have the Lovers, Gemini. Again, a big emphasis on Gemini. This is all about, again, making decisions, but in this instance you're going to feel like you are against the wall. Tough choices. Okay, very tough choices you have for the last week of February, and it is tough. It's going to be a little bit overwhelming, especially it is related with the health of someone. Okay, or even your health. It's going to be tough if we get to that point. If you get to that point, okay, that's the feeling you have during this month. You feel that you are going to be against the wall. You have tough choices to make during this month, during the end of this month. I'm sorry. Okay, it might require you to make some cuts, some austerity measures. Okay, highly probable that involved. Your life probably has to be completely reorganized during this month, and the choices are going to be done during this month. Just be very careful, because obviously if you jump into conclusions and you say what you're not supposed to say, things are going to get out of hand. If you spend money that you didn't have to spend, things are going to get out of hand, and then difficult, tough choices are have to be done during this last week of February 2017. Okay, and that's all I have for you, Leo, 2017 February.